Oh, this is great. I'm so happy you guys are here. This is amazing. Look at that little mustache. Look at you. Look at you. I want to put it together like Velcro. Wouldn't that be nice? This is great. How long you had that little mustache? 2 weeks. Oh, he's a little baby. You gotta water him and give him love. Oh, that's so nice. Do people comment on it? No, not yet? Well, I'm glad I could break your cherry. Yeah, that's right. He's a little virgin. That's right. People comment on mine all the time, and it's never anyone I ever want to talk to. It's never like a hot gal who's like, hey, sorry to bother you. Can I make out with you? I want to see if it tickles, you know? It's never that. No, it's always a guy exactly like me. It's like, hey man, that's a cool mustache. How long you had it? I'm autistic, and I'm like, well, it takes one to know one, brother. No eye contact on 3, you know? Yeah. I was touring Europe. I was in Prague, and all these people kept coming up to me, like all these guys, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, the age of consent is 14. I know, I was like, shut the fuck up! What are you talking about, dude? It's a mustache, not a lifestyle, all right? The fuck are we doing, you know? Oh, man, what can I tell you guys? I'm excited. I'm moving to Prague in the spring, and that's fun. I'm kidding. You're not smiling. No, I'm kidding. I'm moving there in the winter, and no, if I give you guys shit about anything tonight, just know everything is said in love and laughter, okay? I love silly little ha-has. I love being a stinker. I love having fun. And I have no room to make fun of anyone because I look like I listen to porn on vinyl, okay? So I know. I look like I'm just cranking an old phonograph or just cranking one out, you know? Eye contact. Yeah. 2 weeks for the mustache. Is this your girlfriend? No, that's your girlfriend. You got a mustache too. Whoa. You look like a guitar tech for Creed. That's amazing. Do you like his mustache? You love it. Did your dad have a mustache? Yeah, I knew it. Dude, I'm telling the mustache, girls love the mustache because I look like every girl's stepdad named Terry, okay? Dude, girls like the mustache because they have daddy issues, and I have the mustache because I have mommy issues. And my mom had a mustache, and why is it everything nowadays is just daddy? Fuck me daddy, suck me daddy, who's your daddy? I'm your daddy. Why is that okay? But then when I'm with a gal and I'm like, let me suck your nipple, mother, I'm the fucking... Oh, I'm the creep. Oh, I thought it was equality. What the fuck, lady?
But no, we were hanging out one time, and she challenged me, well, they both challenged me to a joke competition. Now, they don't know I'm a professional joke contestant. They just thought it'd be a fun thing to do, right? They were like, Uncle Dan, do you want to do a joke competition with us? And I was like, fuck yeah. I'm gonna destroy you. I'll do my 9/11 shit, I don't give a fuck, right? When it comes to joke competitions, I play to win, you know? And I felt pretty confident going into the joke contest because the 6-year-old, she knows what jokes are, but she doesn't understand how they work, right? She'll be like, hey, Uncle Dan, I got a joke. And I'm like, oh yeah? And she's like, what do you call a girl in the middle of a tennis court? And I'm like, what? And she's like, an ant. That's a joke, right? That works, that's all right, that's not too bad, nice and clean. And then I'll be like, okay, I've got one for you. What do you call a boy with a shovel on his head? And she's like, what? And I'm like, Doug. And she's like, that's shit. And I'm like, oh. I mean, she's 6, she didn't say that shit. She was like, shit joke, cunt. And I was like, oh, all right. But then she was like, Uncle Dan, I've got another one for you. And I was like, all right. And she's like, what do you call a girl with a shovel on her head? And I'm like, what? And she's like, an ant. And I'm like, no, there needs to be a connection, right, between the setup and the punchline, which is obviously a criticism you could level at quite a few Australian comedians. But let's not get into that, you know? Let's just move on from that. So I knew I beat her, right? And I knew I beat the 4-year-old as well, just cause he's a fucking moron. Seriously, he's just a dumb kid. Like, I saw this guy get off a trampoline face first. He didn't fall. He got off face first. He was on the trampoline, looked at the ground and was like, that's where I want to go. And just fucking all the way. And like, it's not just that, he's got a stutter. Come on, it's over. It's a joke contest, he's got a stutter. I don't know if you guys realize, in this business, delivery's everything, right? Like, let's be realistic. So we're just about to start the joke contest. And the niece is also hosting the joke contest. So she's like, before we start, I need to warm up the crowd. And I was like, good instincts. And then she points at me and she goes, where are you from? And I said, Sydney. And she goes, great, the crowd's warmed up. Have you ever had your career reduced to one sentence? By a fucking 6-year-old who just nailed the brief? Honestly, I was so rattled, I pulled out of the joke contest. I was like, I'm having an existential crisis, you can get fucked. I left the playground, the other parents were relieved. But no, they do surprise me, because like, I don't know any of the rules when it comes to children. Like, I make all the rookie mistakes. Like, the niece wanted a Coca-Cola late one night, and I was like, absolutely. No, because in my head, I was like, man, it's a Friday, you're not drinking? Good for you. You know, like everyone needs a night off, right? It's just good for you. But the thing that got me was how she like consumed the Coca-Cola. She had like half of it immediately, like chugged it, then just left the rest in the fridge for later. And we were playing in the backyard, and it's mid-play, she goes, sorry, Uncle Dan, I'm actually running out of energy. I just need to go inside for a sec. And she walks in the house, opens up the fridge, has a sip of Coke, comes back out and starts telling me about a small business idea. And I was like, man, that is fucking mature, you know? She's only 6, but that is almost exactly how I use Coke.
I think about global warming a lot. Oh, okay. I thought we were having a good time. I think about global warming a lot, which is funny to say at comedy shows because a lot of people don't. Like, I said it at a show in Oklahoma, I was like, I think about global warming a lot, and this guy in the crowd just goes, gay! Which fucked me up for a second because I was like, oh shit, is that gay? Like, I thought he got me. I think about global warming a lot because, like, if this is over and we got to get out of here, because that's what happens, right? The Earth stays, we got to go. If we got to get out of here, all right. I don't feel bad. I think we did a good job. Like, we should feel good about our time here, right? As humans, think about it. We got to the bottom of the deepest ocean. We got to the top of the highest mountain. We put pizza on a bagel. You can have pizza anytime. Like, what the fuck did birds do? That's all I'm saying. You got to put it in perspective. I also think that, of course, we got to get out of here. We've been going nuts. Of course, we got to leave. We've been doing crazy shit down here, right? We invented the atomic bomb. That's like a mic drop, if I've ever... Right? Inventing the atomic bomb on Earth is like, have you ever been to a party and seen somebody drink an entire bottle of liquor? Right? And you're like, whoa, it's crazy that you did that. Also, you have to leave. Like, you can't hang out here anymore. Vibe is ruined. What should we talk about next? You want me to just I'll just do what I was. Speaking of the Earth, I went to Europe. I went to Europe with some of my friends. They're here. I have friends. Now I'm getting combative. This has been a roller coaster. This is so us. I went to Europe, your homeland. I went to Europe with some friends because it was like, world is ending. Maybe we should go see some other shit. And like, Europe, it's fine. I didn't go crazy. I like that it's old and beautiful. I think that's great. I do think that we're young and sexy. You're old and beautiful. I don't like it when they cross-pollinate. Does that make sense? Like, I don't like seeing European people do our shit, right? Like, every time I see a British guy rap, I'm like, yeah, that's why we won the war, because you got no rhythm, bruv! No, but it is beautiful. You guys got that. Like, I remember at one point, I was in Nice, France. Yeah, it's a good spot. You go there. I don't know why I lost all my confidence. I got really nervous talking about it. When was the last time you were in Nice? Oh, okay. Yeah, me too. I can't look at you while I do this. I was in Nice, France, and it was sunset, and me and my friend Sam was there, Emily was there. We were walking down the beach, and the sun was going down, and it was just so beautiful. It really knocked me out. Like, I remember looking out into the ocean, and there was like a man swimming by himself. And he was swimming in a way where you could tell he just does that every day. And it just made me think, that's so beautiful, like the loneliness of man, no matter what, you're always kind of alone. And then I was looking at the sunset and I was like, what a beautiful sunset. The colors are so amazing. I'm so lucky to be here. Like, France is beautiful. And then I remember looking up into the town and I was like, what a beautiful town. Like, this architecture's been here for so long, and it's like a testament to humanity, right? It's really beautiful. And then we walked into the town square, and somebody was playing Redemption Song by Bob Marley on the guitar. And I was taking in all of these things at once, and I was so overcome with the beauty that I started to cry. And that's never happened to me before. Not from beauty. I've never done that before. And I started crying, and as the tears were streaming down my face, in my head, all I could think was, see, this is how I know France is for pussies! You know what never made me cry? Purple Mountain's Majesty, USA, baby! I'm glad I got that. Was good. As you guys say, wee wee. For us, that's a dick. Nice little cultural exchange. You gotta get up. You can't keep doing that. I'm kidding. You're doing great. Tivas? I'm a Birkenstock guy. No big deal. I call them Birks. You've disarmed me again. This is so us. That's what I'm gonna rename the special. This is so us. Speaking of countries, all the transitions are gone. Now we're just, I'm an African. You probably guessed it. Yo, now I don't even know what that means. I'm just saying shit, but you're so fun. I'm an African person. I'm sorry I'm not coming to you guys. It's just there's no camera here. Also, you know what you did. Yeah, you're still being punished. I'm just kidding. How do you feel about it? You don't like them either, huh? The weird thing is one looks like a class ring, and that's a bummer. You're not supposed to wear those. They're scams. Was it a high school class ring?
It was my dad's.
sucks! France sucks! I fucking hate France! Fuck! Shit! God damn it! What? Man! He better be your dad! Cause then it would be cool again! Now I just feel like a piece of shit! Did you know they were... That was crazy. Oh my God. So fucking hot in here. Anyways.
I grew up in a council estate in Blythe. And is there any American people in? Yeah. Yes, of course there is. Right at the front and very loud. Nice. Council estate, it's where we put the poor people, I think, in America, the projects. Ghetto. The ghetto? I'm from the fucking hood. That's what I'm from the ghetto, right? But I've always called it the estate. When I talk about my childhood, I grew up on the estate. And I discovered recently that the word estate is a completely different word to a posh person. You know, if I'm talking to somebody from the upper classes and I tell them I started hanging around with some friends from the other side of the estate, they'd be like, oh, were you hunting guinea fowl? I heard it's abundant this season. Like, nah, mate. I've been pelting eggs at paedophile Terry's kitchen window. And hey, we did have a paedophile Terry on our estate. I'm not just making that up for a cheap joke at the top. Paedophile Terry, we called him Pedo Terry for short. And when I think back to my childhood, I don't think Terry was a pedo. Hear me out. This is what used to happen when we were children, and I mean children, like 8, 9 years old. We used to all stand at the end of Terry's driveway, about half a dozen of us, and just shout Terry's name. We'd all be stood there just going, Terry! Oh, Terry! Terry! And as soon as Terry's curtains moved, we'd pull out our little cocks and go, Pedo! You're looking at kids' dicks, you fucking nonce! And then run away to try to get a chase from Terry. That doesn't make Terry a pedo. That's the opposite to being a pedo. Terry was harassed by children. I hope he's okay. You know, I think about him from time to time. In fact, fuck Terry. Fuck him, he did something, man. Kids know, we're switched on, he must have done something. I tell you what he did, he kept coming back to the curtains, that's what he did. Fucking Terry knew what was on the menu. But we terrorized those streets when we were children. We always did. Who's from the generation of kids that used to play out before the internet? A few of you? Sir with the beard, what time did you have to come in? Six o'clock, you wore a watch, you posh cunt? All right, now listen to this, 6 o'clock, that's a bit early, okay. But now people that grew up in council estates, what time did you have to come in? When the streetlights come on, when it gets dark. The streetlights come on, you know, your parents know, it's exactly where you synchronize on the streetlights. So what me and my friends done is every streetlight that's in view of our parents' windows, we'd climb them like monkeys all the way to the top, and there's a little electrical node on the top that tells the streetlight whether it's night or day, and we'd wrench that off. And the streetlights come on forever. And my mother would look out the window at about 5 o'clock and go, well, I don't want to hang out with them. You can stay out there. So my bedtime was around about midnight, but I had a carbon footprint the size of Godzilla. Never off the streets. And we used to think we were hard, too. We thought we were little gangsters. And I think it's because we had hard role models back then. You know, growing up in the 80s and the 90s. And I'll tell you who it was. The bin men. The bin men, that was a different breed, right? That was the grizzled old ex-miners. And they would climb into your garden. Even if you didn't open the gate, you didn't put your bin out for these bin men. They'd break into your land. Right? They'd climb your fence, they'd wrestle with your Rottweiler, and they'd grab a metal bin, doesn't have wheels on it. It's made of metal and it's full of hot coals. And they'd launch it over to another grizzled old ex-mine and they'd do hundreds of these bins every day, right? And that's how it was then. That's who they were, right? Now, if you put your plastic bin full of cardboard all the way to the end of the curb, the bin man will look at it and go, well, we can't take that, the lid won't close. And we got into lots of fights too on the streets. And I was lucky because I got to practice fighting because I'm a middle child. I've got siblings that I practice with. I've got an older brother and I've got a younger sister. And what this means is my older brother used to get me in wrestling submission moves. And when I was being beaten up, I was learning because I needed those moves to pay forward to my younger sibling. That's what it is to be a middle child. I used to get my sister in a wrestling move. You might have heard of it. It's called the Walls of Jericho. Right, some of you know the Walls of Jericho, but not all of you, and I will leave nobody behind. This is it. My sister would be on the floor, where I fucking put her, by the way. I have other moves too. And I would pick my sister up by her ankles, only her ankles. Her shoulders would stay on the floor, her ankles would go up underneath my armpits, my arms would come in and around, nice and tight, legs go nowhere, shoulders still on the floor, and then what I would do is step over her hips and across and go, it's the Walls of Jericho! She nearly lost the baby. That's what you're laughing at, good. You can't unlaugh at that, you're going to hell. You know, it's always nice in a show to find out where the line is in any particular room, and it's wonderful to find out in this room there fucking isn't one. But I did start hanging around the streets, the estate, with some friends that I started hanging around with a friend called Podge, who I barely knew, right? Him and his friends. His nickname was absolutely to do with his relationship with food, because we all had insults for nicknames back then. All of the boys, for sure. Like, my nickname was Weed. And it was because I was skinny. You know the kids' TV show Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Men? Weed. It was even a dated reference back then. I think one of the grown-ups gave me that nickname. But that was my nickname, and it stuck until about 1995, 1996, when Dr. Dre released the Chronic album, Snoop Dogg released the Doggy Style album, and pot culture became a thing in the UK, and weed become cool, and they fucking revoked my nickname. Every boy had an insult for a nickname. That's how it was. You never got that with the girls. You'd never meet a group of girls and you'd be like, this is Charlotte, this is Diane, this is Forklift Pat. You never got that. Girls, you were kind to each other. You were. That's why you live longer. But no, me and Podge and the boys were walking around the streets of Blythe looking for girls to chat up. Because that sounds crazy now, to go out into the street and chat up girls, but when we were 16, right, we didn't have Tinder on the Nokia. We're too young to go into the bars and the clubs, so you go around and you wander around the streets to bump into people to chat up. That's how it was then. Technology changed everything. The whole climate has changed because of technology. Like, there were no unsolicited dick pics back then. You know that, right? Okay, let's make this abundantly clear. There should not be unsolicited dick pics now. But back then, there were so many more obstacles between dick and pic. You know, if somebody wanted to send a dick pic back in the 80s and the 90s, right, you'd need an actual camera. A physical camera. And you don't have a camera on your phone, if indeed you have a phone. So you've got a camera, and there isn't a screen on it. So you're guessing. There's like a small window in the top corner that you could try and look through. But if you can reach that, just suck your own dick. What are you doing? What are you doing here? So you take a picture, click. And then just because you've guessed what the picture would look like, you might want to take another one to be sure, but you can't do that straight away. You've got to rewind back this wheel with your thumb while trying to maintain an erection. And then click. And then rewind it back again. And then click. You're just taking a flick book of your dick going soft. And I do not know how many pictures you might want to take before you think you've got a good one, right? But let's suppose it's 6. Then you've still got 18 pictures left on the film. So you've got to go around the city doing a spot of tourism to fill the camera up. And then if you still haven't changed your mind and you still want to send the picture, then you have to go to the chemist. I don't know why in the UK you get your pictures developed at the chemist, right? But you'd have to go to Boots, like, could you have a look at my penis and see if that mole needs some ointment, please? You'd put your camera down, you'd pay in advance for the pictures, you'd apologise in advance for the pictures, and then you'd go and just wait for 2 days while your picture gets developed in a dark room, and you've got time to change your mind, but if you still want to send a dick pic, you fucking psychopath, you've got to return to the chemist, apologise again, right? Find the picture that you want, go past the picture of the river and the castle from your bit of tourism, get the picture that you want to send, then what? Go to the girl's house, knock on her door. Her dad would answer, and you'd be like, could you give that to Jill? And it's going to get worse. The dick pic game will get worse as technology gets better. I believe this. It won't be very long at all before every household has a 3D printer. Yep. You're going to miss the pictures. You're going to miss the pictures when you get sent a physical dick. When you're hosting dinner, you've got the whole family around and a penis just starts materialising in the living room. You're stepping in front of it like, nothing, ma'am, it's glitching. Nice. I'm going to need a new cartridge. Fucking $14.99 from Argos. And when it's finished, you tip it into your dick bin. You have a dick bin now. The year is 2025, you have a dick bin. It's the purple one. It goes out every 4th Thursday. You'll wheel it out, and they'll be like, Jill, we can't take that, the lid won't close. But yes, me and Podge and the boys were walking around the streets of Blythe looking for girls to chat up, specifically girls with big fringes. And I don't know if you remember the big fringes of the 90s, but it was before straighteners were invented. The girls got creative. And sometimes the fringe would leave their head around about here, and it would loop around, and it would rejoin their head here. And you could fit your arm through it. I honestly don't know how they did it. I can speculate. Imagine, like, they got, like, a tin of Pringles or something. Like, flopped the hair over it, and then got some hairspray and give it a waz. And then maybe he's got the hairdryer to speed up the process. And then I don't know what, like, get a toffee hammer. I've got no idea. I've only seen them in the wild. I've never seen them being built, but I suppose that's how they make them.
Society's a mess, isn't it? I mean, it's so unintuitive, isn't it? Like, from first principles, you'd never, ever design a society that way, would you? I mean, it seems inevitable that it should be like that because it's kind of developed that way over time, but it's not. I mean, the way I see it is we have modernised versions of traditional and archaic concepts that get gradually altered over time. And because everything develops based on the version of it that existed before, it's all rooted in the depths of the past. And I genuinely believe that we should just destroy everything we've got and build a society from first principles. Like, forget everything we know and build a new society, a better society, a fairer society, and a happier society for everyone. I'm talking about a revolution. Dismantle everything we've got and start it from scratch again. I mean, obviously, we don't want to change everything. There would be some things we would want to keep. Yeah, there would be some things from the old system we would keep. I mean, obviously, we'd want to keep the House of Lords. I mean, that's absolutely vital, isn't it? I mean, they're society's finest minds. And we'd want to keep the knights, wouldn't we? Yes, you know, the OBE, the Knights of the Garter, all that stuff. Well, what I'm thinking is, if we're going to keep the knights, we should have them doing what they're originally supposed to do. Fighting wars and that. Sir Paul McCartney evacuating an animal sanctuary in Kabul. Running onto a chopper with a sack of cats on his back. Sir Elton John firing a mortar into a minibus of civilians. Sir Derek Jacobi, walk this way. There's a landmine to dismantle on the Sheffield bypass. What What other things would we want to keep? If we're going to create a society from first principles, what other things? Another thing we'd want to keep. You'd want everyone to be massively hung up and livid about gender. All the time for centuries, wouldn't you? You'd never want them to get over it, ever, and just keep going on about gender with preconceived ideas and stereotypes. And if someone, having been exposed to all this, grows up and says, I don't feel I really fit into this very narrow definition of the infinite human experience, that definition confines and diminishes my ability to express my sacred and ancient humanity freely within the timeless and infinite universe in which we somehow find ourselves. Well, obviously, you'd want to say, shut up! And we'd want to keep religion, wouldn't we? Yes, you'd need to keep religion. Yes, we'd want religion. Yes, of course we would. But you'd need religion to be done in a very particular way. Yes, you'd want there to be loads of different religions, all pretty similar, but they all hate each other. And even people who are in the same religion, they all split into different factions, and they all hate each other too. And you'd want all the religions to say that all the other religions are wrong, with no sense of irony. And what about sewerage, you're asking? What about sewerage, Paul? What would you do with that? Well, obviously, pump it into the sea. Best place for it. Next to all the plastic. What other things would we want to keep in the society of first principles? Yeah, for society of first principles. Another would. Yes, you definitely. You'd want there to be a powerful liquid that people drink in various forms and flavours, which loosen the inhibitions of some people whilst destroying the lives of others. And occasionally, it would cause people to mount the curb at a T-junction in Stevenage. What else would we want? What else would we want in this new society? Another thing you'd want someone who's going to promote equality. Someone in government who is going to make sure that there was equality in the new society. And you'd want to call them Equality Czar. That's an actual real thing. I can't believe it. That's a real thing. Can you imagine the meeting where they decided the name for that role? Where they said, okay, we're going to have someone to make more equality. What word do you think? What name? What about Equality Overlord? No, it's not quite right. Equality Führer? No, it's too German. Equality Rees-Mogg. Stupid suggestion. Now, hang on. I've got it. What about Equality Czar? Well, are you sure you want to call it Equality Czar? I mean, when you think about it, Tsars, they were the hereditary rulers of Russia who lived in appalling luxury while their subjects were penniless and starving. And then they were overthrown in a revolution and shot in the face with a bayonet. Are you sure? For the equality brief at least, we shouldn't just pick a different word. No, I like Tsar. And you'd want allergies and napalm and Apple Watches and the Backstreet Boys and Love Island and racism and deforestation and landmines and credit cards and Piers Morgan and nuclear submarines and bloody friggin' golf. I mean, I can understand certain things. I can understand, for example, why people might want to chop down the rainforest. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I can understand why people might think that way. I mean, there is a logic to it, isn't there? I'm only interested in short-term gain. I don't care about the future of the planet or the people who rely on these trees. I can make a load of money by chopping down this forest. But golf? Please just stop it with the golf. There's absolutely no reason for it. There's nothing to be gained. Just step away from the course. we would want to keep sport, though, wouldn't we? Yes, we'd want to keep sport. Yeah, we would. Yes, you'd need various games of increasing levels of contrivance and pointlessness that regularly lead to fistfights as 75,300 English hooligans rampage through the town while the mayor of Grenoble has a nervous breakdown. I'm being silly. But there is a point to sport, though, isn't there? There are other reasons for sport. I mean, one of the other reasons for sport is to give men something to talk to each other about in pubs. You know the sort of man I mean. Because you see them in pubs, don't you, saying, have you heard Arsenal are up in the league? And you're thinking, John, your wife of 34 years left you yesterday. Please, just for a moment, talk about how you feel. I mean, you'd never get that in the female world, would you? That's my point. Like, you'd never get in a pub. Sandra, I feel so sad now Derek's left me. So empty. I'm all churned up inside. Shut it, Denise. Nottingham Forest are up in the league. Now let's play darts. 140. Beat that, you wanker. Shut it, Sandra. My clit's bigger than yours.
I hate living with an enemy. It's David character. Has anyone ever lived with someone they consider to be an enemy? Well, I know you personally, so that'd be incredibly weird, but thank you. Good to see you again, Eliza. It's great to have supportive friends, but sometimes he's making this all about him. Oh, this is good stuff. One off the wedding list. I do as well. Well, I guess I'll talk about mine then. Well, I've already told you about him, haven't I? I told you about David. It's actually not the food stealing. I can tolerate that. It's his career. It's what he does for a living. I think it's despicable. Any guesses what he does for a living? Insurance, very good. This is very good. It's nice, very good. It's good. I prepared a few jokes tonight, but chip in with any of your own. That's really. This is good. This is comedy socialism we're working with. I get the ball rolling. It'll just be a self-sustaining gig. I could just go off into the distance. Well done. You're all going to be on Taskmaster one day. I can feel it. I can feel it. Really, you've got it. No, worse than that. Far worse than that. David is a juggler. Isn't that awful? It's not impressive, is it, being a professional juggler? Here's how you know. What does someone do the minute they finish juggling? You don't have to do that if you've done something impressive, do you? Doctors don't do it when they've fixed your spine. Try walking, it's good, isn't it? David, man, he's arrogant. Be arrogant for an insurance guy. But for a man who wears cargo shorts and a top hat to work, unbelievable. He always compares my shows to his, you know. I'll get home at the end of a night and he'll say, "How's the gig?" I'll say, "Yeah, it was good, you know, mostly friends, but..." Nice full gig, and he'll say, "Yeah, my gigs always pack out." Well, yeah, you do them in Covent Garden. My gigs would pack out if they were blocking the entrance to Boots. Who's single? My beef with jugglers does not start with David. I met one a long, long time ago when I was a child, down on the shores of Scarborough, very close to where the Walrus was doing his work. But this gig was not going as well. No one was putting any money in his hat. It was all going to the human statue. It's got to pinch a bit on it. You train your whole life learning your stupid little tricks, and then you realise it would be more profitable if you just stood still. Instead of internalising it and thinking, you know, this is about me and the fact that I've got the job of a medieval peasant, He turned on the crowd. He said, for my next trick, I want a volunteer. And out of the crowd, he chose a little boy, me. Not recently, I was 6 years old. He brought me on and he gave me his clubs and he said, you're going to throw them to me one by one, I'll catch them and everyone's going to cheer. And so I did it, and everyone cheered, and I had a sense of euphoria that I'd never had before. It was my first ever time on stage. And then the juggler went into his backpack, and he got out 3 swords. And he said, I hope you've got a good catch on you, my boy. These ones are going for your head. Yeah, everyone there laughed their little heads off. And I cried. That's mean, isn't it? Can we agree that's not like I understand, like, I'm a performer, I've had difficult gigs. Naming no friends. It's not you. I've had tough gigs, but I've never thought, do you know what will turn this round? If I just humiliate a toddler, I just think that will show them that I know what I'm doing. But it worked. People clapped and cheered, and they had a good time. It stuck with me all these years. And when I moved in with David, I said to him, you'd never do that to a child. He said, yeah, it's an old juggler's trick. It's funny. It's not funny. It isn't. No, I'm not a dad, but I'd like to be one day. Do you want to be a father one day? You want to have kids? You want to have kids, yeah. How many would you have?
2.
Yeah, nice. Just the one for me. I've got an imaginary son, but he's a great boy. He really is. And he's an amazing juggler. Not by accident. I trained him. Yeah, he didn't go out and play football like the other boys. He wasn't going out with his mates. So he doesn't have mates. He is, a juggler. And when he's good enough, I'm going to take him down to the shores of Scarborough. I'm going to take him to that juggler's show. I'll say, go on, lad. You get to the front of the crowd. Papa's waiting at the back. Any volunteers? Stick your hand up, boy! Remember Papa's training. He's going to hand in the clubs, everyone's going to love it, and then he's going to get the swords, right? Hopefully you're a good catch, lad. These are going for your head, right? And just as everyone there in the crowd starts laughing at my little boy, I'm going to shoot the juggler in the stomach. Thank you, Splitwise. He's an imaginary boy, but it's a real world out there, and I want him to be prepared for it. I was a real boy, and I had real problems, let me tell you. Wet the bed as a child? Any other former bedwetters in? There's a surprise. Who would have seen that coming? You know the bedwetting type, front row. Now you drink your drink, you've earned it. Please, get that piss ready. Oh, well, I packed it in when I was 12, which is still too old. It is, I knew it was too old because they assigned me a nurse. Can't believe your luck, can you? How much piss is that? The NHS is getting involved. We need to fix the boy. The nurse, she said, I'm going to cure you. And I said, with what? And she said, I've got this buzzer. You may have heard of the buzzer. It's a buzzer that's attached to a special sensor. She said, the idea is we put it on your sheet, and when you wet the bed, it will make a noise, it will wake you up, it will train you out of it. It didn't do that for me, though. What it did do is create a Pavlovian response. So that no matter where I was, if I heard a buzzer, I'd piss my little pants. As if the bleep test wasn't humiliating enough already. No! I'm the slowest and the soggiest. The shame you feel when you're a little bedwetter. You're terrified you're going to get derobed as a little pissy pant boy. Remember once we went on a school trip and we had to stay overnight, so my mum had to tell the teacher. And the teacher was very nice about it. She said, look, we've made arrangements, but it's very subtle. No one's going to know. We get to the dorm room that evening. There's 29 regular beds. And then one with my full name on it. Covered in tarpaulin. Like a little morgue, like a grave. Like the teachers knew, this boy's dying tonight. But it turned out there wasn't one tarpaulin in bed, there was two. Another pissy pant boy. Marcus was his name, pathetic little creature, really was. Little measly maggot of a child. We became best friends immediately, we did. Real recognised real. We were smallest boys in the class. We used to sit on each other's shoulders with a big coat and get bullied by the ear below. But when our mums found out that we had become friends with other bedwetters, they were over the moon. I don't know what they thought, actually. To this day, I don't know if they thought we were going to, like, build a little bedwetters network, exchange buzzer tips. But it didn't work out that way. Instead, I think what happened is, like we were too comfortable with one another. You know, so when we'd have sleepovers, we'd fall into bad habits. We were like a couple of old alcoholics. Okay. There we'd be at midnight sharing 2 litres of Fanta. Hey, don't listen to that fucking nurse, lad. She don't know what she's talking about. Here, who can down it faster? Loser gets bottom bunk. It was like a Peter Andre video if you slept under me. But I realised, you know, being a bedwetter, you can turn any weakness into a weapon. You got a pissy pant boy staying in your house, you be kind to him. I was ready to strike. I was like a little skunk. I remember Marcus's parents once humiliated me because I wouldn't finish my broccoli. They'd undercooked it. They said, that doesn't matter. You're in our house. You eat our food. So I ate it, and then I went to bed in their house, humiliated and full. And I woke up in the morning dry. And I thought, no. No, Mr. and Mrs. Mitchell. I'm shitting myself. Look at that broccoli again!
I was kind of a hypocrite through the whole pandemic. Like, I'd tell you get vaccine. I'd tell you trust science. I went on a cruise. I went on a cruise during the pandemic. Yeah, all right, here it is. Well, first off, of course the cruise was going to happen. It was a cruise, it was a heavy metal cruise. It was a cruise filled with heavy metal bands. Of course that was going to set sail. Metalheads are not scared of viruses. Do you know metalheads, like old school? They half of them are walking around with gonorrhea that they got at the original Ozfest. And they're proud of it. They're hanging on to it like it's a sourdough starter. They're like, yeah, man, these warts saw Randy Rhoads live, dude. They had protocols. I forget whichever test is where you do a test in front of your computer and then a doctor's watching you from the doctor. I just gave a stranger access to my webcam. This special might not be the thing you see on the internet of me coming up soon. Yeah, I'm like, why are you just in a bedroom too, man? Like, be in a laboratory. You got the same bad lighting setup as me. What is that, a Mudvayne poster in the back? You just work for the cruise. You work for the cruise. I got this stranger, and I'm just in my room. He's watching me. I'm 4 knuckles deep with a Q-tip into my gray matter. That's the closest I'm ever going to feel to a cam girl, was that moment. It's a guy just watching me drill my orifice. Oh, deeper, daddy? Okay. What do you want me to do now? Spin it a little? Ooh, you're sick. You're naughty. They say they take protocols. They go, we will do an intensive questionnaire to make sure you're healthy. It's when they give you the questionnaire. You spend all your money to get on the boat, then you spend your money to fly to get to the port city, and then your bags are packed. They take your bags, those are on the boat. All your money, all the shit's on the boat. And there's a little guy in a fun kiosk, if you've never been on a cruise. There's a guy before you get on the boat, and he's just a little party guy. Maybe he's got maracas or something. Right? Like, time to buy your drink package, so you have to gamble on how much booze you think you're going to drink on the cruise before you get on the cruise. And nobody is tame at that point. You're going on a cruise. Nobody's like, I better go for the bronze tier. I'm probably going to take it easy on the way to Cozumel. No. Everybody's like, fucking diamond package, baby. I will absolutely drink $975 worth of alcohol every day on this cruise. You will not. You absolutely will not. By the next day, you will have one shaky glass of white wine in your hand. Just like, I at least gotta break 150 to feel good about myself. You're gonna poison yourself out of your own frugality. And now you spent more money on that. Now it's time to get on the boat, and here we go. And now you're on the plank, on the way to the boat. There's the boat. Seawater is just underneath you. Fish and dolphins. There's the land. Sayonara, suckers. And that's when they hand you the questionnaire. That's where they expect you to be truthful about your ailments in that moment. And everybody, like nobody's, I got the sniffles, always or never. What do you want me to say? What? My parents are first cousins. You bet your ass they are. Let me on this boat. There's zip lines to be zipped. One of the questions is like, do you have diarrhea? How dare you? Do I have diarrhea? I'm going on a cruise. If I don't have it now, give me 20 minutes. In a half hour, I'll be on my third crab daiquiri of this voyage. It is not a drink that is included in the diamond package. It's one that I'll assemble myself by getting a pitcher of any tropical beverage that I will then take right to the buffet, which I will treat like a death row inmate. Asparagus dipped in hot fudge, why not? We're gonna die. That's where I'll get an armful of crab legs and hang them off the pitcher. What for dipping? In 45 minutes, an employee of this cruise line will come by the hot tub where I've parked myself and tell me to cease my behavior immediately because I will be in that hot tub playing my favorite game of all time called Guess the Catch of the Day. It's not a game, it's really just a sex crime. It's where I, Kyle Kinane, am sitting there swirling one crab leg around whatever warm gin and fruit is left in the pitcher. I'll be wearing men's swim trunks, the old-timey kind where there's an outer shell and an inner panty. Any stranger unfortunate enough to sit in that hot tub with me will now be a contestant of the game. And I'll say, I wonder what the catch of the day is. And they'll go, catch of the day. And that's why I'll just move the outer shell to the side, revealing my netted genitals. And I'll say, well, it looks like a shrimp and 2 scallops today. That's the game. Nobody wins. Nobody wins. Do I have diarrhea? I'll shit off the side of this boat if I want to. I'll hang my lily white ass off the mezzanine and I will unload into the life rafts. Women and children first, be my guest. What are you gonna do? Turn it around? We're in international waters, bitch. Don't call yourself Carnival if you're not ready for the implications. I don't go on many cruises. But that's the thing, like, listen, I'm going to go into vaccine. I'm pro-vaccine, pro-science, but I behave in very anti-vax ways. One of those is I keep eating at Chipotle. I know it's dangerous, and I engage in that behavior freely. I'm like, it's freedom, not fear. I will not live in a prison made up of your paranoia. Now, well, they got that white queso dip back on the menu anyway. Also, Chipotle kills people every year. Every year, Chipotle has to have a press conference where they're like, yeah. I'm surprised we're back here again, too, but somebody pissed in the spinach again or something. You know? Anyway, long story short, we're sorry for your loss, you know. We're sorry. But we're gonna make it up to you. We're gonna offer a BOGO every Tuesday in July. For your loss. You get an extra burrito on account of the law, your bereavement with burritos. For your bereavement. There's some, it'll tie together later. So I ate that. And like I can self-diagnose food poisoning at this point. I'm pretty familiar. I'm like, here we go again. Dancing with this smelly mistress another evening. Food poisoning moves around your torso in a way that it's just looking for a way out. It's like a bank heist went south and their plan B wasn't really dialed in. You're like, oh, the front doors are blocked off. What do we do, boss? I don't know. We can tunnel out the basement or jump off the roof, but we're getting out of this bitch one way or another. Like, that's food poisoning. This was different. This did not behave like this. This just started making a little nest for itself. The doctor's like, yeah, your appendix is inflamed. It hasn't ruptured yet, but just go to the ER because they're gonna have to get it out of there. So I went to the ER. I went to a suburban hospital. I can tell it's suburban because the doctor was very just unimpressed with having to do another appendectomy. Just another boring day at the office for this surgeon. You can tell he's out in the suburbs like, can't we get a goddamn knife fight in this town? I went to school for real shit. As he came in the room I was in, he's like, yeah, we're gonna give you a laparoscopic appendectomy. He said that once. He only said that one time, laparoscopic appendectomy. And that was enough, too, because I was like, whoo, uh-oh. Because they charge by the syllable. So you know it's like, laparoscopic appendectomy. Esquire, the third, pump the brakes. After that, he just called it a lappy-appy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a fan of a nonchalant attitude from a surgeon. Say the whole word. Earn your money, say laparoscopic appendectomy. He wasn't even saying it to make me feel comfortable. He was just saying it out of just shortening his job. Because they were saying it out in the hallway, too. They were just like, what's in room 9? It's a lappy-appy. It's nothing exciting. Like, don't do cute nicknames before the procedure. If I live, we could be adorable afterwards. Afterwards, this shit, man, we could put glitter on the scars. I don't give a shit. But beforehand, say the whole term, make me feel safe. I have to go under anesthesia. People don't make it through anesthesia sometimes. I could still die, even if it's routine. What if I die? That's it. I died without any information about what was happening. I just show up in heaven or whatever I qualify for at this point. I don't know. I definitely have some strikes against my license by now. But anywhere you wind up where some ethereal being with a clipboard's like, oh man, you weren't on the schedule today, and the best I can say is like, I guess my lappy-appy went whoopsie-poopsie. Didn't get much more information than that. But yeah, well, thank God it went okie dokie, so we're here today. But so I was thinking, but like, that's, unless you had a situation where it ruptured and inflamed, you have an appendix in your body right now doing nothing. Except maybe making a doctor $25,000. And they let babies leave the hospital with that. Does this baby have an unlit stick of dynamite in it? You betcha. There's just a bunch of walk-in scratch-off tickets for doctors. Like, oh, it's my lucky day. New set of golf clubs. How about it? 25 grand. Meanwhile, I was circumcised like right away. That was the thing. That was the thing. Like, oh, we can't have him have that. Uh-oh, hey, we got another baby born with too much dick. God, man, can't believe you think if it was unnecessary, evolution would take care of it. Now these babies keep doing too much noodle. Oh, should we wait till he's old enough to make up his own mind? Nah, nobody's ever wanted more dick later in life. At least not in the United States. Nope, just an American celebrating his freedom going, I guess this is all right. Would like to have a choice. Why is that the worst thing? Why is that the most horrible part of a new baby boy? The devil's calamari. Get it off of him. Why is that? Why is that? Listen, I may have ruined calamari for some of you, and you know what? Good. I'm glad I did. We gotta stop eating those animals. They're smart animals. We gotta leave them alone. Those are intelligent things. I'm sorry for the next trip you take to the Olive Garden. That you don't get to enjoy your favorite app. No, you getting the calamari? Well, I can't. Maybe I could eat the whole squid, but I can't eat the rings. I can't do the rings. Why not? That's the best part. A guy said a thing. I don't want to ruin your experience. I can't. I just can't. You're going to dip that in marinara. Oh, I know we're here, but I do not feel like family right now.